Hello and welcome. I'm Michelle Fox from Michelle Fox Beauty, and today we are going to talk about a topic that is very, well, I don't know if I should say near and dear to me. It's important to me because it has impacted me, but it's kind of a negative thing, and that is called ptosis. It is a drooping of a muscle or a set of muscles in your eye. If you don't have it, you've probably never heard of it. But those of us that have it, I'm sure your heart is palpitating because it is something that you can't really fix. There are surgeries for it, but they're not always successful. It is very embarrassing. It is very frustrating. And there is not a lot about it in terms of how do I cope with it? Is there a way to make it look better or have it be less obvious? So, what I want to show you today is yes, there is a way to do your makeup where it is less obvious. It does balance your eyes out quite a bit. We're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about a whole lot more because I really want people to become more aware of what ptosis is, why you get it, and how to cope with it. So, we're covering that whole giant topic today. So, don't go anywhere. So once again, I'm Michelle Fox. I'm so glad that you're watching. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that you get tons of information and takeaways from this video. If you do, be sure to like it, share it, comment, let me know what you got out of it, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. I am a combination beauty blogger, beauty consultant, content creator, and I also am a coach for other people in business. So have many facets to what I do. And I felt like this is a topic that falls under my umbrella of beauty issues, beauty concerns. And ptosis, like I said, is something that can affect people from birth. And it can start to, you can start to notice it later in life. It can start to impact you as an adult and then get, quickly worsen in your latter years. But it can also be the effect or the result of something like a botched Botox injection, which is kind of scary. So I'm going to show you a couple things just to give you some backstory, I guess. And then we're going to go into the makeup routine. For me, my face, I don't know. I always make a lot of goofy expressions. I don't like getting my picture taken. I really didn't notice that I had totally different eyes until I got my engagement picture taken when I was like 25 years old. And it really, really freaked me out. Like they looked significantly different position, different size. And so I immediately went to the mirror and I was trying to figure out why do I not notice this when I look in the mirror? But the difference is that when I'm looking at myself, I have enough control of my muscles that I can even things out, interestingly enough. But when I'm not looking at myself and I'm totally relaxed and I'm comfortable, when I'm in that relaxed posture, this whole side of my face just kind of slides down. Unfortunately. And it has definitely gotten worse with age. So I've gone from having droopy eyes, I've always had kind of the downturned eyes, to seeing that they were different positions, different sizes. And now I've also added the hoodedness because of the age. So, but I'm telling you, this technique for applying eyeshadow addresses all of those issues. But let's go to my screen. Hold on one sec. So ptosis can be the result of lots of different things. There's something called Horner syndrome, congenital, so something that you inherit, a traumatic experience, something that happens to your face or head. I don't even know how to pronounce that next one. Myopathy, diabetes. I don't know how to say the next one either. or cluster headaches. But I'm surprised they didn't mention this one. I've got a picture to show you that. I'm going to reference this article in the description to the video so you can go through all of these. But this shows what can happen with botched Botox, and that is a bit terrifying. This would be before, and then it's showing that too much Botox, depending on, you know, how extreme it is, can sort of freeze your eyebrow and your forehead in place where you no longer have control of that. And too little can make it so loose that you, you know, again, aren't able to lift it. That is just really scary to me. So just these are all different levels or different, I think that's all Ptosis is just different ways that it has impacted this particular person. It's all kind of, wow, freaky. All right. So this is me. God, you laugh or you cry. Okay. So I was doing my makeup differently than I normally do. I did dark on my lid, and holy cow. So this was a TikTok that I did. And a combination of the dark makeup and the lighting and just the position of my head for most of the video, it looks so drastic. Like, to me, you can really, really see that my eyes are different shapes, sizes, and all that. And it really upset me because I just thought, wow, this is how I look all the time. But I think I wasn't being careful enough with my makeup on this particular day. I think you see it mostly at the beginning. I wonder if I can make this go to the beginning. There we go. All right. So notice here how much of the white, you know, the light highlight color you can see here. You don't see quite as much of it. You can see the accent color comes up, but here you don't really see the accent color as much. When I lift my brows, you can see that I do have my colors on the same, but when I'm looking straight at you, my eyes look really, really different. And that is primarily because I was using something dark on my lids. So I have vowed to never do that again. Every now and then I like to do something different because, you know, I'm a beauty person and I want to try different techniques so I can teach different techniques. But this is the one. This is the one that I use most of the time, and it works really, really well. And even if you don't have this condition, when you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, I think it will help you learn more about how to apply your own makeup. So that is what is really cool. Anytime that you watch a makeup demonstration, pay attention to the reason why, if they share that. Why are they applying it like that? Why are they using that brush? Or why are they using a lighter color there and a darker color in the other place? It really will help you in the long run, whether you look like that person or not. All right, so I have everything else on except my eyes. I always put on my eye cream before I do my eye makeup. And there's one that's really lightweight. It absorbs really quickly. So I tend to, you know, like to use that one. If you use something heavy, you need to give it some time to really absorb. Otherwise, it's going to kind of grab the color unevenly. So you want to do that. So my routine is usually I'll put on any supplements and my moisturizer and my eye cream. And then while that's all soaking in, I'll do my brows, foundation, loose powder, you know, things like that, kind of let that all catch up. If you have any under eye circles, you might want to use your concealer there. But another thought is there are under eye correctors. And the difference there, most concealers are going to be sort of a thicker consistency, but a similar color to your foundation. And many of them have a warmish undertone. An under eye corrector is usually more of a peach or pink undertone. And it's trying to take away kind of like the bluish under eye circles. So when people have chronic under eye circles, they tend to be sort of like a gray blue, and this brightens that area up. I don't have that, but I do have, because I've got too much weight in my face right now, I have like these really deep divots, and I don't like how that looks, and it creates shadows in there. So I've been trying everything under the sun to try to address that. And so I've been using some of the under eye corrector just to kind of brighten that area. Whoops. So I'm going to do that. I waited to put it on until we were together. And those are pretty easy to find, under eye correctors. And another thing that I just saw is to use something with a little more reflection. So I've got a highlight stick that I use along the top of my cheekbone. So just for fun, maybe I'll just do one eye. I'll do my bad eye. I'm going to put this highlight stick. It also is kind of a rosy color, but it has a little bit of shimmer. And so I'm just trying to brighten that dark crater that's created from, you know, that chubby cheek. Okay. So I'll just do that eye. So somebody has to help me remember. So I call that one my bad eye. So here's my situation. So when I just look straight forward, this one lifts up on its own. Like you can see underneath my brow, you can see that area. You can see the mobile part of my lid. When I do my makeup, you can see all three colors pretty much. This eye, the hood is really drooping down and it covers most of my lid, like the mobile part of my lid. So it is, like I showed you in the TikTok video, sometimes all you can see is the lightest color under my brow, which looks ridiculous if I've got that, and then I've got three colors over here. So we're figuring out what can we do to balance that out. Here we go. The first thing that I do, I go from lightest to darkest. Some people do the opposite, but I've just always done it like this. And I like to work with matte colors. So I'm using a matte vanilla-ish color. And I like to apply it under my brow because I don't want to draw a lot of attention under my brow for the reasons I just discussed. I don't go underneath the entire brow. I look at it and strategically decide what area do I want to put it under. And for me, I have just a slight arch. It goes up just a little bit. So I'm going to put it in that front part there. So under my brow, but in the front area, I'm not taking it all the way back here. Okay. So I loaded up my brush with color, and then I'm just putting it just in that front area under my brow, right up to where it arches. And I'm using a traditional eyeshadow brush at this point because I'm really packing on color. Trying to get all my mirrors and whatnot lined up here. Okay. So that's where the biggest deposit of color is. You want everything to blend. So we want it to kind of segue from one to the other. So I am going to take the same brush and just kind of feather it out, but I did not add any color to it at this point. Okay. This is important. So I am using a very light color still, same color as I did under the brow. I'm putting it on the mobile part of my lid. I really want it to show up on this gimpy lid. And I want it to go right to my lashes. So I might come from above even to make sure that where I first lay it down, you know, it's getting that really big deposit of color, like right down by my lashes. And I'll probably go a couple different times. But here's the thing. I am not, my priority is not to cover the whole almond shaped part of my lid, like this whole part here, because that is just going to emphasize that I've got more on one and less on the other. So I just want to keep that highlight close to my lashes, sort of like the same concept where I just had like the greater deposit of color at, part of my brow, and then I feathered it. I'm going to have most of my highlight close to my lashes and then kind of feather it up rather than put the same amount all over the entire mobile lid. So I've got that really light color. And now I might sort of pat it or, move it up a little bit without adding any more. On this eye, my bad eye, I want to make sure and go ahead and get color all over that lid. Highlight the light color, draws attention to, shines light on a spotlight. And this is the lid that is kind of covered by the hood. So I'm trying to get light on it. I'm trying to get it to show up better. So this one, I'm just putting that on. I'm packing that on all over. So far we've used the same color, just a really light, kind of a vanilla matte eyeshadow under the brow and on the mobile part of my lid. All right. Now this part is key. This is the biggest difference. So this is where you want to really pay attention if you've been snoozing. All right, you want to get your mid-tone shade, which is kind of a middle of the road color, usually in a peach, tan, beige, toffee, tawny, shade in there, sometimes gray. This is called hazelnut. I'm using a pointy, tightly bristled brush because I really want to have control over where it's going. So I loaded it up, tapped off the excess so I don't have it, dripping all over the place. And I want to put it right in the crease, okay? Right in the actual crease. So you can feel that. If you're not sure where that is, go ahead and feel. You can feel where your bone is, and you can feel like where your eye socket is. And so you want to go right in between there. Starting from the outside. We have to do this over here. All right, I think I started a little too low. You want to be careful that you don't start too low because that is going to drag things down. Everything can be corrected though, so don't get too worried. So all I did that whole time was just use this and just deposit that right in that crease, okay? Now that is the good eye, and sadly, I want to diminish that one because this one already has so much of the mobile lid showing. I want to take some of that away actually to help balance it out. So I'm going to take that dark color and I'm going to feather that down. Normally you hear about raising that arch, that you want to go a little higher than your crease. But in this case, I'm bringing it down lower because I'm trying to even out my two lids. Okay, so I brought that down. I'm still using this this compact brush. And then, since I do have a hood over here, I also need to bring it up. Told you I had a lot of things to I have a lot of things to address. And I didn't add any more color. I just used the initial, swipe, and then I've just kind of been massaging it around. And I'll take a blending brush, which is usually long and tapered. No, wrong brush. I don't have my glasses on. All right, this one, long and tapered. And just go in like a windshield wiper just to kind of smooth that out a little bit. Blend it out. You don't want to take it off. You want to blend it out. So this is like a really soft, loose bristles. And I'm just going back and forth. Okay. All right. So on this one, we went right in the crease, and we're going to do the same thing on Gimpy here. So I'm going to feel where the crease is. I'm putting it right in there. Starting from the outside, coming toward my nose. This time, I don't want to bring any of it down because I want as much of this brightness to stay as is. So all I'm going to do on this one is bring it up onto that hood to try to push the hood back. If you feel like you have more color, like just more concentrated color on one side than the other, you can dip back into your eyeshadow if you need to. But for the most part, I usually don't need to. And then you want to blend that out just like you did the other one. But again, you're not bringing any of that color down. You're keeping it all a crease and above. Okay, so when my eyes are closed, I am assuming you can see how different that application is. But when my eyes are open, it helps to start balance things out because of the bright color is starting to sort of make my bad eye seem bigger. All right, we're not done. Okay, and we might have to come back and add more to that. It's a work in progress. For the accent color, I do this in a variety of ways, but I tend to put too much on lately. So I think I'm going to use like another small head brush. And if you're going to use any kind of shimmer, to me, like your outer corner is probably a safe place to use it because usually, you know, I'm at this point, I'm not super crepey out here. But I typically stick with all matte, but just for the heck of it, I'm doing a shimmery one today. And okay, so this is always kind of hard to explain. I try to imagine my orbital area as a circle, and then where is the center of the circle, and then go out from the center underneath my brow, and that's where my accent is going to land. Okay. So whereas if my eye was not so droopy, I would be using the corner of my eye as sort of a guide, but I can't rely on that. So instead, I'm just imagining my eye as a circle, picturing, okay, where's the middle of the circle? Then going out underneath my brow, and boom, that's where I want to start with that darker color, okay? And since like I said, I've been using too much lately. I don't know what's going on. So I just want to start with just kind of a dot. And then I'm feathering it in up and down, making sort of an arrowhead pointing out. Shimmer shades are usually easier to work with. They just seem to blend a little easier. Not always, but oftentimes. And I'm really staying in that outer corner, okay? I'm not doing anything fancy at this point. Let's even them out and do both sides, and then we'll go back and work on the hood. So I'm imagining my circle, my center underneath here. Just kind of putting a dot there. Then I'm making it look more like an arrowhead. Okay. And now we need to look and kind of see how we're doing as in terms of, you know, balancing them out. how we're doing in terms of pushing back the hood, because if that hood needs to be shoved back more, if we need more lift, then we're going to need to bring that darker color up a little higher and into the crease. All right. And looking at myself in the monitor, it looks like that needs to happen, but let me look at myself in a close-up mirror. I think yes. I think I need to bring that up a little bit more. This is where I'll probably mess it up. I'm going to use my little brush again. I dipped in, and I'm just going to kind of go along the top edge. And like I said, bring it into the crease. And maybe kind of very subtly feather that up toward my brow. I'm not moving it a lot, just a little to get it a little higher on that. I want to call it a ledge on my hood. A lot of times I'll have to go back and redo like the tail of my brow because I kind of wear that off. All right, let's do on the other side. Okay. I have two brushes that I use at the very end to sort of clean things up. This one I use in the outer area. Even though I started out with a V or the arrowhead, I want to kind of soften that a bit. And I also want where it meets that light color under my brow, I want that to just kind of melt together. I don't want it to be a really harsh, obvious line. I think that that is more flattering and also kind of elongates my eye. I will definitely have to go back and put more on my brow. And then on the inside, I have an even bigger, fluffier brush that I use to clean up any fallout, any debris, and also to smooth the edge. But I don't go in very far. I'll show you better on the other one. All right, so this, I'm kind of softening that V. And then I go up and try to blend it in with that light color. But again, you know, blending doesn't mean removing. So you have to be careful that you're not taking it too far and that you're not being too rough. And then this big fluffy one. So fallout is when you get like the little sprinkles, you know, up in here. So I clean that up like this. And then if there's a real harsh line where my makeup starts, I'm going to smooth that so that, again, it's just not real obvious where it starts and stops. Okay. Does it seem like I balanced it at all? Please say yes. I do have a couple more tricks up my sleeve. As kind of a finishing touch, if I'm not wearing my glasses, it's totally fine to just kind of leave it like this with just your lashes. And I had already lined on top, so I really wouldn't need to do much more other than probably, you know, redo my brows at the very end. But if I'm wearing my glasses, or if you like to wear your color on top and bottom, then what I like to do is put shadow on a really thin liner brush. And I will line underneath first. I'm not going to line on top because I already did, really. But then I also, just to kind of help this color merge with everything else, I will use that same color and sort of create a wall. So I'll extend that line from where, the tip of or the corner of my eye up toward my brow. And then I will feather that in. It's just one more layer to draw people's attention out and up. And then, like I said, it helps to blend this liner so that it just, looks more cohesive. So line underneath. And that's just a matter of just pressing it. I just press, lift, press, lift. If I'm not getting any fallout, I can kind of swipe it a little bit. Just kind of depends. If you want more of a smoky look, you can use something like a smudger brush instead of something really skinny like this. Making my wall. Now I'm just brushing that in. Let's see. I gotta make sure everything's all. Yeah, I like the wall. I like that. I always feel like it just gives it a little extra oomph. You know what I think I'll do? Maybe I'll just even use this. You can use eyeshadow on your brows. You know this, right? I had used a brow definer, which is a pencil. But right now, I'm thinking I'm just going to use this powder. And it's all right. Oh, yeah, we need to compare. All right. This eye, gimpy eye, had the highlight. Yeah, right? All right, let me smile. Does it make a difference? I don't know. I don't know why that bugs me so much. I don't know. I just don't like that. Okay. So what do you think? Oh, here's another thing that's freaky. Even though this eye is droopy, this one I can open wider than the other one. So when I do this, like you can see the white around that eyeball, but not the other eyeball. I'm like a freak show. Oh my gosh. All right. So hopefully you learned something about ptosis today. And if you have it, my heart goes out to you. And I hope that you try this technique. And I would love it if you would post a picture. And if you have some tricks up your sleeve on how you deal with it with makeup or anything else. I did read to try to strengthen the muscles, to like stretch your eyebrows really high and then let them go, just that kind of thing at night while you're watching TV. I don't know if it'll make a difference or not, but I just really definitely don't want it to get any worse. So thanks for watching, everybody. And remember to like this video, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. And next week I will come back with some more beauty tips. I can hardly wait. I miss you already. Thanks for watching. Everything that you need as far as products that I used or additional information is in the description of the video. And if you're not watching me on my blog, if you're catching this on Facebook or YouTube, go to my blog because that's where you'll find a freebie each and every week. So you don't want to miss out on that. Thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your day.